Hey, it's Heather, and today is a very good day for an adventure in gardening. So there's no way today is going to be quiet around here. Everywhere around me you can hear chainsaws, and I was trying to wait and do this video, but I'm like, we're going to be cutting trees down all day long because of the storm, and most of the town here doesn't have power, and there's trees everywhere. So we'll just proceed. So about 3 o'clock this morning, I started making my mental list of the things that I wanted to get done today. And I got out here really early with my list. I make a list so that I can stay on track of the things that need to be done, and then I go through and I prioritize them as far as what is, most urgent. But then I got sidetracked by a guest to the garden. Oh, happy day. I'm so excited, really excited. My first monarch caterpillar of the season. We are so behind schedule. How on earth are we going to release and beat last year's numbers? I don't know. Okay, I'm trying to do a selfie with my caterpillar. Okay, let me just show you, hold on. So then I spent way too much time seeing if he needed anything. Do you need more milkweed? Do you need shelter? Should I put a stake on that plant to steady it for you? And then I'm really struggling. So years past, I bring my caterpillars in because I have a really big population of praying mantis and beneficial wasps that do not know the difference between a cabbage moth worm and a monarch caterpillar. But it takes a lot of my time every day because I'm scouting for the caterpillars. Well, we'll see. I'll keep an eye on them for now. Last year, I think it was over 70 caterpillars that I released. I'd bring them inside, feed them milkweed, and then release them outside the day that they came out of their metamorphosis. And you know what I was just thinking to myself before I get into what I'm going to be doing today is, have y'all met Penny? Because this is Penelope. Hi, Penny. You going to say hi? Yeah. So Penny is 12 years old, and she has 3 other siblings, Peanut, Piper, and Priscilla. And they were all born here in the barn, and they're really outdoor. They were born from a feral cat, and I'll tell you the whole long story because it's pretty cool and how they ended up here. But she does not like to come inside at all, and I do bring them inside in the wintertime when the weather gets really, really bad, but I have to make her come in. So whenever I am outside, I am a target for Penny. She's like, it's loving time, here I come. And she rams my legs, and if you ever see the camera shake, it's Penny, because she's like, nope, loving now. So my list for today is huge, and I just wrote all the things down because sometimes, you get really distracted in the garden, and you see something pretty and you head for it. And so it's a good idea to have a list, at least for me to have a list to work off of. So my list is really huge, but I have a feeling I am not going to leave this spot today because this is where the work really needs to be done. I'm going to be resetting the salad garden here. But first I have a few small things that I do need to get done, especially watering. And I don't know if you can see it, it's hot, it's humid, it's really warm today. So I'm going to go water the plants, and then I'll meet you back here and we're going to reset this whole garden. right, so let's get started resetting this salad garden. Now, if you've ever watched any of my videos, this garden, even in the springtime, is never completely empty. I let last year's cole crops go to seed, and then let them, I let them bolt, let them go to seed, then I save their seeds for future plantings. And so there are still things in here that need to be saved. That I have some ribbon. I have some red ribbon that I'm going to be cutting and putting around those so that I remember. And I'm going to have to figure out some kind of a tag, because I have a couple of different kinds of lettuce that they're going to start to all look the same really, really quick. So I have with me my basket of all of my tools that I take outside with me, and I have 2 buckets for compost, which I'll be running back and forth to compost pile. And the other thing that I have, and I'm going to use it first, is I have a bowl, and it's full of water. This is the biggest bowl that I own. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here and just find things that are still salvageable. And this, I am not cleaning everything out of here by any means, but there's going to be a lot of space because we're going to be doing the fall planting today. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is secure my little baby watermelon. Oops, striped cucumber beetle on, yeah, striped cucumber beetle. Where'd you go, buddy? Oh, they're so stealthy, those little stinkers are. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to secure my sugar baby watermelon so that I don't accidentally break the tip off. Actually, this sugar baby watermelon is really behind schedule because the point of having it here, there's one at the other end as well, is to make shade for the fall crops. So obviously we're not there yet. So I'm going to cut some of this broccoli and put it in the bowl for soaking. So once I go through here and I cut all the things that I want to bring inside and have for dinner or in the next few days for meals, I'm going to bring my bowl inside. So Yodfah, Y-O-D-F-A-H broccoli is the broccoli that I've grown this year. Now, the jury is still out as to whether I like this or not, because I have trouble growing broccoli, and I guess this is considered a sprouting broccoli. So you can eat, obviously, this part, and then this stem, just like asparagus, you get to that point where it snaps. Okay, so this is the tough part. So you can eat this whole stalk right here, okay? So I'm just gonna harvest some of this real quick, throw it in the bowl, and the pieces that are tough, I'm gonna give it to probably the rabbits. They like snacks too. So I do like the flavor of this broccoli though. I've had it for lunch quite a few days. Even pieces like this that have the flowers on it. So I'll find the point. Where are you? Yeah, this one might be too old. So I'll just cut the tips on this one. I did start some more of this for the fall planting, just to see if it would act a little different. I don't know. Plus, I have it too close together here. I really didn't know what to expect. And I see that we have some visitors. All right, well, bad visitors, unwanted visitors. Can you see that? Maybe not. All right, well, it's a cabbage mothworm. So this sanguine lettuce that I planted is probably going to end up being one of my favorites. And I'm pulling it because there's a few that haven't bolted yet. Look at how pretty that is, right? So I'm going to cut off the roots and throw it in the bowl. Just make a nice salad for dinner. So I do have some here, some of the sanguine lettuce here that is bolting, and it's making, a nice little flower head on it. And I used to teach homesteading classes, really like, so it's funny because, most people will not consider you to be a homesteader unless you have cattle. And I have considered myself to be a homesteader for years, and it just on a really small scale. And I would tell people that my version of what I feel homesteading is when you decide to farm in or do more of what your household and your family needs than farm out. So you're doing more, you're providing more than you're buying, at the grocery store or at other stores. So you get to decide what you want to do. And it doesn't have to be, milking a cow at 3 a.m. It can be, growing lettuce and letting it bolt and saving the seeds, and then saving the seeds over winter and then replanted it, and just having that closed circle of homesteading, of providing for your own needs without having to farm it out. So, that's just how I think about it. And I know there's, people who are going to disagree with me, but it's a fun thing, because once you've mastered something and now you're self-sufficient. Obviously you have to buy the lettuce seeds to begin with, or you can barter or trade for them, right? Well, once you have that skill under your belt, then you can move on to the next thing, right? And so, then you're working towards all your vegetable needs and saving your seeds instead of learning it all at one time. That, don't try to do that. Do one thing at a time and close your own circle. And it can be whatever you want to be. And I save the seeds for about 5 different kinds of lettuce now that I really enjoy. So I know there's a Butter Crunch, of course the Marvel of Four Seasons, that's my favorite. Freckles is another one. All right, so what else needs to be saved here before I start yanking? Well, I've got some really nice kale that I did not plant this year, and I think I'm just going to stake it up because they look like little trees and they'll provide a little bit of shade. So I'm going to head inside and make myself some lunch, and then I'll come right back out. And I think we're going to dig potatoes next. Before I pull this, we're going to try to dig potatoes, or at least see what's going on with the potatoes. All right, so I ran inside and I made myself a quick smoothie because I know if I stay inside too long, I'll find like a million other things to do, and then before you know it, the day is gone. So my smoothie, by the way, is my go-to lunch for energy to keep me going through the rest of the afternoon, and it's blueberries and strawberries that I froze from my garden, and some coconut oil and raw milk from my friends at Baldwin Brook Farm. Speaking of getting up at 3 a.m. and milking cows, thanks guys for doing it for me. And that's another part of homesteading, right? Is knowing, I'm not going to milk the cow, but they milk the cow, and then I pay them money for milking the cow, and it's a win-win, really. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and dig the potatoes, and I really don't know what to expect with these potatoes behind me. It's just, it is so dry and I'm tired of looking at them. I think I'm a little too early to be doing it, but I don't want to look at them anymore. So let's see. I brought a really big, Robin, get out of my blueberries. Oh, you little stinker. Anyway, I brought a big bowl just in case I need the really big bowl. But let's see. Penny, now don't you drink my smoothie. Actually, I'm going to put it over here so you don't get it. All right, so let's see. Well, we definitely have potatoes. See, here's my second biggest bowl. It's got holes in it so I can wash the potatoes off in the bowl. I'll put it right there. And they're good sized potatoes. Yay me! Woohoo! Okay, but there was only 3. That's okay. I have another spot that has potatoes growing in it that is not ready. At least it doesn't look as pathetic as this spot. All right, okay. I don't know, this one looks weird. Yeah, that one's not good. That one's rotten. I don't know why. Maybe it was the seed potato. But I don't remember putting a whole potato in the ground, so oh well. I usually only grow red Pontiac potatoes. I don't know why. I just like the red skin potatoes better. So, but I ventured out this year with a couple of different kinds. Ooh, look at this one. Nice, right? So what am I going to replant in this spot here? Well, I know you're not supposed to follow a root crop with another root crop. I don't think I just made that up. I think you're really not supposed to. I'm thinking I'm going to put my arugula here. Maybe. I don't know. I have to see what's left to plant over there. I know I have turnips to plant. And the arugula. I did plant arugula in this spot one other time and it did super well here. Okay. 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 I'm actually really glad to be getting these out of the garden. They looked pretty for quite a while. I think this one was a dud. Oh, okay, no, never mind. Okay, so this is what I ended up with for potatoes. So, I mean, it fills my second biggest bowl, right? You know, there were very few baby potatoes in here, so I really think that I made the right choice in digging them now, because the ones that are here are a really good size. But I can't help but think that if I had watered them more early on, that I probably would have ended up with more potatoes. So I have one more spot I have potatoes buried in, and there's actually a lot of potatoes over there. My friend Chris gave them to me, and I'm just wondering what I should do with those. They were planted a little later. I mean, should I like up the water? I don't know. If anybody has an opinion, let me know. Here we are, you know, second week of August. I actually don't know what date it is. But anyway, I'm going to bring these inside in just a minute. I went and dug 2 buckets of compost right here, so I'm going to just lay that out. And I went over to my seed pile and, sorry Penny, and looked at what I had. So I'm going to do something a little different. I am going to do the arugula. Hang on. This is my arugula. I'm going to do the arugula, and I'm going to do the Bare Necessities kale, and I'm also going to do this variety of chamomile, which I can't remember what it's called. I had enough days to do it. We'll see if I actually end up with the flowers for tea. It was for tea, specifically for tea. So that's what I'm going to do here. This is leaf compost. I have 3 different compost systems, and this is from down by the water. It's a 2-bin leaf compost system, and I do the food composting up top over that way. This ground is so dry, oh my goodness. And I actually painstakingly went through here in the spring before I planted my potatoes and sifted the dirt, because this is not a big space here. This is, let's see, I don't know, maybe 5 by 5 or something like that. So it's not really a big space. So I went through and I sifted and I removed all the rocks. And do you know, I was like pulling up rocks when I was digging down looking for the potatoes. So obviously I didn't do a very good job. All right, so when I've got a tray, let me take my shoes off and get comfortable. When I have a tray of seedlings that I'm going to be planting, I like to sit down and take them all out and lay them in my black tray, so that when I'm standing in the garden and I'm planting, it's like an easy, quick thing instead of having to stop and keep taking them out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first. Hi, Penny. So my plan is the arugula is going to go around the L shape here in the back, and then the kale, and then the chamomile. I don't know what the roots are going to be like on the chamomile here. I don't think they're going to be no, they're not. So, I mean, they're there. Little tiny chamomiles. I think it was a 50-day, and that's why I picked it. So, we'll see. Some of them have good roots on them. When did I start these? Oh yeah, I will never ever learn. I gotta stop using popsicle sticks and pencils. That's gotta stop. All right, so I'm just gonna sit here and do the rest of this. So you will rarely see me direct sow anything in the garden. And Charles Dowding, if you've never seen any of his YouTube videos, you should look him up, because he was the one who actually convinced me to go that way. And it bypasses a world of trouble for me between the cats digging in the garden and, you know, I have a lot of birds here. There's a lot of birds, and I swear they sit in the trees and they're like, what is she doing? What is she planting? Let's see. Let's go dig it up. And all the other little critters that are running around. So I have much better success if I start everything in these little packs. Kale looks really good. It's got good roots on it. I love this variety of kale. I got it originally from Fruition Seeds in New York. I love their seeds. All right, let's do this lickety split because I got to get these potatoes inside so the sun doesn't hit them. You know, I don't need gloves. All right, so the potatoes are dug, and the arugula and the kale and the chamomile is in this little section right here that just looks like dirt, right? And now I'm going to take the potatoes inside, and we're going to start pulling the bolted lettuce and all the weeds out of here. So we've got turnips and yeah, and other things. I got to go get them. Okay, so this is what we're going to be planting today right here. I have some purple radish, some Chinese broccoli. That's the broccoli that I showed you, the Yod Fa. I'll be planting that. Some purple turnips, rutabagas, some beets. These are the albino beets right here. They're just little tiny things right now. This is Chinese cabbage, which I didn't get to have any this spring because it all bolted, because you're supposed to plant it in the fall. Some new Marvel of Four Seasons lettuce, and I'm not lacking in that variety, but I just keep it coming. And I have cilantro and dill here, which I do every 2 weeks. I just keep sowing. And then I have some random borage right here. I have 4 plants of borage, which was kind of like a last minute planting, and then I forgot to water them and bad things happened. So we'll see if they come back, but let's get to pulling so I can get to planting. So it'd be really nice to have this garden looking nice again. I'm gonna tag all of the plants as I go through so that I won't accidentally pull my seed plants. So, sorry, pen. Okay, here's an onion that I saved for seed right here. I just bent it by accident, so I guess I better stop what I'm doing and tie that up. Oh, okay, that held it. So now deciding which one of these are the Marvel of Fourth Season right here. So, oh hi. I have to decide which one of these is going to be the seed plant. So obviously I would pick the one that's furthest along. So before my hand can be too quick to pull everything. So I'm going to pick this one right here. Oops. So I know my thinking might sound a little crazy to some of you, but saving seeds is an important part of what I do. I always think, well, what if we can't get the seeds we want? And this past spring, what happened? It was like I never ever thought that that would happen, that we would, you know, because we become very accustomed to just getting what we want when we want it. And luckily I order my seeds really early. By the way, oh, two things. By the way, if you haven't ordered your seed garlic, you need to order it right now. If you're going to be planting garlic this fall, you need to order it like today. And if you need a recommendation, I can give you the name of the place. They're getting sold out though, the place that I buy from already. That was one. And oh, number two, totally unrelated. So all the seedlings got a drink of fertilizer, the seaweed fertilizer. So that they were watered with that this morning. So I do that before I plant my seedlings. But yeah, so I always think, well, what if we can't get what we want when we want it? And so you kind of have a little bit of food security there, right? If you are saving your own seeds. So that's why, like this black seeded Simpson lettuce right here, one of these I will be saving. And I've got, what's that one called? I always want to call it Hot and Flashy, but I actually don't think that's what it's called. That one. And then over there is Freckles. And so this right here, this is Swiss chard Biondo, I think is the name of it. So yeah, I think that's the name of it. So I'll be saving all of these seeds. Okay guys, I'm going to walk you through the salad garden that is good enough done for today. There's still some things to do, but I'm going to walk through this whole little area with you and just go over things that were planted today and things that had already been planted. So this is my little, someday I'm going to have a real arch. I've got clematis on either side growing, and that is a North Pole apple tree. Maybe, I don't know, like I had thought, wouldn't it be great to like bend that over? I don't know what I'm gonna do exactly, but anyway, so let's walk through. So I've got some sage here and this little bicycle planter my mom gave me that has the pretty tricolor sedum in it. And there's some sedum on the outside. I've got these two hanging baskets here. This tomato is called Red Robin, and I've just, you know, I really haven't given it the attention. Well, obviously I haven't given it the attention. I really haven't given it the attention that they needed this year. Should have had a bigger pot. I'm going to try growing it again next year though, because the tomatoes are very tasty. So, Penny. All right, so this section here, this is the daikon radish in the front, and the stakes are there so that the cats don't dig when I've just planted something. Let's see, okay, so that's daikon radish there. This little section in the back was supposed to be kohlrabi, but something has eaten the kohlrabi. I put a little bit of diatomaceous earth on it here. I think I'm going to have to, it's not too late, I can still start like another crop of turnips and throw them in there, so I might do that. I have one very nice looking kohlrabi there. There's some celeriac here. Again, these things are set up so that the cats won't dig in new soil. I've removed the rest of my cat traps so that you could see the plants better, and then I'll put them back on after. This is a really beautiful cilantro here, and those are celeriac. Let's see. Oh yeah, all right, so Jerusalem artichokes. Now I had to cut a bunch of the Jerusalem artichokes because the storm kind of blew it all in that direction. So I cut them down and they are stumps. This is a disaster. This little corner is a disaster still. I'm not sure how me cutting them is going to affect my harvest for Jerusalem artichokes, and we like to make those into chips. So that whole section is going to be dug out after the frost kills them and they die back. I will dig everything and then I'll give it a good weeding, because right now it's very messy. So hopefully I'll still I should just cut them all because they're just, I probably will. But I don't know how it's going to affect the harvest, but I don't like to see it. Let's see, so some more celeriac and some carrots. Carrots kind of plugged in here and there. There's some radish, and here is eggplant that is, I saw a bloom earlier today, a bloom that hopefully will become a fruit right there. So this was already here. I've got the two kinds of beans, the pole beans, and you know, I don't know, they just haven't even started to flower yet. They're thinking about it. I think they're thinking about it. So pole beans, and I've got green arrow peas that I've kind of put here and there. The green arrow doesn't get that tall, and those are the shelling peas, and I just put those in, I don't know, 2-3 days ago. And this side has got the cucumbers and again a few green arrow tucked in here and there. So my path's got weed whacked today. Much nicer to walk in here. It's a volunteer squash. This is Freckles lettuce that is going to seed, and it's going to stay there. It's almost done, actually. This one's almost done. You see some of them here are doing that. Almost done. I like them to get real dry though before I take them in. And I mean, this dill has grown so much since last week when I made the pickles. And there's one more dill that I didn't get to plant today, but I'll do it tomorrow. All right, so this is the corner that I took the potatoes out of. That's all nice and neat. You know, I can't tell you how I feel like a princess when I do a planting and I have leaf mulch, composted leaf mulch all the time. It makes me feel like such a princess. So I definitely would recommend, you know, having mulch on hand all the time is priceless. So whenever I plant something new, I take and I get my mulch. So I've got arugula along the back. My hand keeps making everything go out of focus. Arugula along the back, and then I've got the Bare Necessities kale, and then I put in the front some of the chamomile. The little baby chamomiles are in there. There's the Bare Necessity kale, and there's the arugula. This is my celery. This is that Chinese white celery. And the remember the lettuce, the black-seeded Simpson was kind of hanging over the top of it, so now hopefully it'll be able to grow. There's my Swiss chard for seed saving, black-seeded Simpson for seed saving. I put the Chinese cabbage in this little spot right here. So I really hope that it doesn't just bolt, because that would bum me out. And then I only ended up with, I think, 5, the cat keeps pushing my hand, 5 of the Yodfa, where is it? There it is. So I put those right there. The bricks are in there for me to stand. Those are purple radish. These are watermelon radish. Lettuce for seed. Gorgeous Marvel of 4 Seasons lettuce. Look at that. Just beautiful. Love this lettuce. Okay, what else do we have here? Well, those are more watermelon radish. Here's some itty bitty baby Marvel of 4 Season. So everything that I just planted, because I have cats, those black trays are going to go, you're standing, Penny, you're standing in the garden, come on. The black trays are going to go over top of everything. Purple radish there. And, oh, I tucked some beets back there and some carrots. Carrots right there. Let's see, what else? Oh, I can show you the watermelon on this side. No, that's not watermelon. That's cucumbers. The cucumbers. Okay, cucumbers. Yeah. All right. So I do have watermelon though. I was looking at the watermelon before I turned. So this is the Sugar Baby watermelon that I put some nice fresh compost on it. And there's my watermelon. There's one on the other vine too. The Yodfa, I put a little bit of DE on the Yodfa because I found the cabbage worms. Horseradish. Oh, and so this is the purple radish gone to seed. These are going to be my seeds for next year. This is a purple pepper right here. Very pretty. And I guess that's about it. So it took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, but it's done. And it looks nice. I think it looks nice. I've always loved this area. Everything looks nice except for that. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and cover everything before somebody's like, oh, loose dirt, that's fantastic. I love loose dirt too. Is that what you say? Yes, you do. Yes, you're naughty. Mm-hmm. And this, my friends, is called dreaming big. Now, I knew at the start of the day that I wasn't going to finish my list, but I still get it out of the brain, get it on paper, and it's more likely to get done, at least for me. So, you know, gardeners, dream big, plan big, and then we forgive ourselves when we can't actually get it all done in one day. But tomorrow is another day. And today I did the really big thing, and that was resetting the salad garden for fall and getting that stuff in the ground. That was like really heavy on my mind because, you know, my timing was really good and getting it all planted, and then I'm like, okay, we're like 3 days past when it should have been done. So I got that done. Oh, I didn't plant the milkweed. Really wanted to do that because, you know, my buddy's down there and kind of motivated me to get that done. Plus I have the mulch that needs to get out of the bags. Here comes Penny. Okay, so let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I fertilized the seedlings. That was on the list. I did that. I picked the tomatoes. I picked the elderberries. And the elderberries are going to go in the freezer for tincture. Learned that on YouTube instead of what I was doing before. which took a lot of time. So I'm going to make tincture, elderberry tincture. And oh, I weed whacked the salad garden paths. And then I was supposed to dry the Sweet Annie, and we'll do that another day. It's the storm kind of made it. It must be, I don't know, 8, 9 feet tall now, and the storm kind of made it go over. So I'm going to dry that for winter arrangements. And the strawberry bed, man, that's got to get at the top of the list for tomorrow. The strawberries are, you know, we pay for our water, so you kind of water by priority and rotate things through. And the strawberries, once they were done, I just didn't do it anymore. So and no rain. So that is my list, and I really, a thumbs up would be great if you guys enjoyed, and especially if you watched to the end, that'd be great. Remember, every day is an adventure, and no matter where it leads you, you get out there and you make the best of it. Thanks again for watching and doing my garden chores with me today. If you don't already subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. I would love that. I get so excited every time I get a new subscriber. And that way, we can stay in touch and you won't miss out on the next adventure in gardening. See you soon.